Hi everyone, this is a twin flame reading for, well, it's a reading for the twin flame collective, divine connections. I wanted to do a karmic reading to kind of suss out where we're at karmically, because we know the karmic contracts have closed out, but they're taking a hot minute in the physical for all people involved, not just the karmic relationships, but we'll probably get into that. I had actually done a full video yesterday, edited it, got it all ready, and then deleted it because I thought it was a different video. It wasn't meant for public consumption, I guess, but it was really about what we were stepping out of and stepping into with Saturn going retrograde. This is about karma and dharma, but it's all about stepping up into your own power and releasing the karmic energy that keeps you limited and restricted. So I have a very different concept of karma from what's generally out there. This isn't about action and consequence as much as it is about energy that gets old and goes sour and is no longer of use, but we hold on to it because that's all we've ever known. Okay, that's what I feel is shifting out. I don't know why, but I'm just very physically uncomfortable today. It's a weird day. There could be some emotional stuff happening. Even like just weird and irritated. It probably didn't help that I was watching some stuff on Netflix that just irritates me about the systems we're in, but I'm not going to get into that because I'm here about this. So I'm going to do an overall, that's going to be public. Patreon is going to have the extended where I actually get into the nitty gritty of the karma. So I'm going to look overall as a collective, what we closed out karmically, what we're stepping into. Same with the divine feminines and then the divine masculines. So, all right, what do we got overall? Overall, in the collective, what do we have overall? What have we closed out karmically as a collective? I don't even know if this is the right deck. Okay, I kind of love this. All right, seeing beyond the illusion of the 3D, okay? Here's how this is translating for me. Collectively, we have always known in our hearts, both feminines and masculines, what's true. Physically, that has not manifested. And I feel like we are realizing how preposterous so much, even the social media stuff, the pretending to be perfect, even I can honestly, like I'm at a specific angle, I've got a bit of makeup on, like everything is such an illusion. But truthfully, the amount of people that posture online trying to pretend that there's something with that. Collectively, we are understanding about our connection. Okay, that's just the real world scenario they gave me as a metaphor. We've closed out the contract. We're done with the fake stuff. We're done with the illusions. We're done with the pretending. We want the real good shit. That's what I feel. We want the real good shit. What are we stepping into? What are we stepping into? Oh yeah. Yeah. As a collective, connection-wise, we are utilizing our connection to source. Our connection and our connection to source, like our connection to our person energetically, to each other, our connection to, they're all the same high vibrational frequency. They're all like, so there is something that we're tuning into frequency-wise, energy-wise, that is beyond illusion. And I kind of love that. I'm going to get into some more nitty-gritty details in the extended where I actually be, okay, give me a scenario. What does this really mean for the collective? But I want y'all to know what's actually happening energetically. Okay, feminines. What are we stepping out of? Interesting. I kind of love this. I'm not going to lie. I kind of love this because it's not about being friendly or polite. It's about being genuine and it's about being real. And it's that fake, like there's this concept of having to put our best foot forward or having to be the better people. But that's just a falsehood. That's an illusion. That's not truly how you feel, right? One of the hardest things, I think, for people that are sensitive to energy is to allow themselves to express without the fear that you're creating more. But what we're learning about the way the energy is right now is we are learning that when we express, we release. There's a tricky part during the release where we have an opportunity to hang on to the narrative as if it's true, or we can just let it go as being like, we need to, evict. We need to evict this old shit. But most divine feminines are on some level people pleasers because we're so sensitive to energy and we want everybody to feel better. So we pretend to be things we're not. We pretend to be friendlier. We pretend to we try to be friendlier even though we're feeling very different. We try to put our best foot forward. We try to be good girls or good boys. But it doesn't truly serve us. It just pushes down how we really feel. And so I feel we're stepping out of the need to pretend to be something we're not in the moment we're being whatever we're being. And I want to see what we're leaning into. This goes with because there's two trees here. This isn't just about your relationship with your person, but it does show up. And here's the thing, if I talk to my masculine, I'm going to be afraid that I do the wrong thing. We've been taught that we get ostracized, we get rejected, we get made fun of if we do or say the wrong thing. Like systematically through social experiences, we've been taught that we can't truly express and be ourselves. And with our person, it's like intensified, but there's a part of us that's like, well, that's not working. Why are we still doing that? But I feel where I was going to go with this is going to extend to all the different relationships in your life where perhaps you're trying to be a good person, but sacrificing what you truly need to do that. There's something with that. It's not about not being a good person, because I think our hearts are hearts of gold. I don't think we can mess that up, but I think we've been conditioned to believe that we have to show everybody as if they don't feel it from us. There's something with that. All right, what are we stepping into? I'm like, please be positive. Oh, stepping into recognizing our conditioning. I feel more so, I'm going to say this goes with more of this. Conditioned friendliness. Conditioned to be good, based on what other people need us to be as their perception of good. I still feel uncomfortable sometimes when I, say how I feel as if it makes me a bad person. Such a weird thing. I think it's too complex to actually lean in. It's too complex for me because it's different for everyone. Your perception of what it means to be a good person, your perception of, or your behavior and how you go about that is different for everyone. But we all have the same thing we're breaking free of right now. We're stepping up and empowering ourselves through the goodness of our heart, but not sacrificing ourselves to appear like we have a good heart. Do you know what I mean? Anyways. Something about an audience. Okay, what are we actually stepping into? Can you just give me something juicy? Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. I'm like, can you just give me something good here? I can ask for that, right? We're allowed to ask for what we want and need. Do you struggle to ask for what you want and need? Do you feel like you're a burden if you do? Do you feel like there's something with that? I don't know who it is I'm communicating with, but there is something really powerful about that. We've got change and guidance, okay? There is something different about the energy that is guiding the divine feminines. We are guiding ourselves. We are taking charge, even in our relationship with Source. I can feel into this for myself and know that I'm having very, very strong conversations with Source because I'm recognizing where sometimes it might listen to the subconscious part of me, or I'm sabotaging it in a sense of, well, maybe I shouldn't ask for this. Maybe, that's not okay. Maybe there isn't enough to go. Whatever my conditioning is, you're probably going to have conditioning or rules around your relationship with spirit, the relationship with your person. There are rules that you're breaking free of, feminines. And I love this because we are here to be wildfire. We are not here to construct or conform, but we unfortunately live in a world where the people who are constructed and conformed are received better, so to speak. But it's just this constant loop that's never really it's not really full circle, especially if you've woken up. And I need to say this, I am going to get into this more. And just before I go to the divine masculines, I need to say this. When somebody who has woken up and they are really leaning into the high vibrational frequency stuff, lowering their frequency to be heard doesn't work. Conforming and restricting yourself will no longer work because there's a jankiness or a friction to the energy. So feel into that. Okay. Masculines, what are they stepping out of? In the other reading, I have to tell you, this is something that stood out to me, was they are being subordinate. They're stepping out of, they're no longer willing to be subordinate. And for those people in their lives that are constantly forcing them to be subordinate, they're just going to circumvent them. I have gotten feelings that they have things that they're doing that the people around them don't know, and it's going to be a shock to them. But the masculines have tried to tell them, this is not for me. This is not for me. And they keep shoving it down. You have to take it. You have to take it. And the masculines are like, okay, I'll just circumvent you. I'll go above your head. I'll do whatever I got to do. And you're going to act like you're the victim because I shocked you with all of this. But you never allowed me to walk my path. So I have to create a path there. I do feel that for them, but I want to see what they're actually stepping out of before it just was so intense yesterday. The energy was wild. Okay. A lack of trust. Okay. That's so interesting. They're stepping out of that. They're stepping out of a lack of trust in themselves, their capabilities, their competence. What's interesting about this, I feel, for those masculines who are stepping out of that, you as a feminine might feel more trustworthy about your person. You might just feel, you know what, they're competent. I need to stop micromanaging, because if you're the kind of person who is conditioned to try and micromanage, watching behavior, or have been taught that you're the only person who knows what you're doing, or the people around you are incompetent, you might treat your masculine with incompetence. They may have had behaviors that fed that fear for you, right? They're here to trigger that up in you. So, but they, just like you, deserve to be given a seat at the table. They deserve to show that they've changed, okay? We have no idea the shit shows that they're in. They are in some really intense places that there's not a lot of support for them, okay? And it's almost like, you know how the feminines, we feel like the source, we're not getting the support we need. They feel like that too, except they don't even have anybody to really talk to about it. Okay, just to give you a perspective. We're all struggling. There's no one person struggling more than the other. Okay. Oh, interesting. We have celebration over the miser. I'm like, what are they actually... Which I kind of love, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit of scenario with this. And then I'm going to do a bit of an overall of like, where is this really taking us collectively? We have celebration over the miser. So there is something that they have let go of, that they were holding on to out of fear, which tells me also that the feminines have probably done that as well. Maybe it's the part about needing to play a certain role. Maybe we've let that go. We're not holding on to that anymore. It's not our job anymore. There's something about responsibility. And I'm going to just say this. So for the feminine's focus, it's the masculine, because that's the way in which we grow the most. The masculine's focus is the people around them, because that's the way in which they grow. But on the inside, the masculine's focus is the feminine. And on the inside, the feminine's focus is everybody around them. And what I mean by that is, it's like beliefs belief systems, conditioning inside, okay? For the feminines, which had to do with everything and everyone around them, that's what we're shifting on the inside. On the outside, we're focused on our masculine because that allows us to externally change. I know it's convoluted. I get it. There's lots of energy there. But for the masculines, their outer focus is the people around them. Their inner focus is the feminine. It's just a will of opposites, okay? I just want to get an overall for the collective. And then I'm going to do the extended. Oh, yeah. Yeah, get out of the head. The head cannot take you where you want to go. Even now, as I try, we've got intensity. We got politics with the mask. We've got the master. We're shifting out of all this garbage, okay? Even as I try to explain it to you, like from a mental or cerebral place, I have a hard time because this is energy centered and it's heart centered. So trying to like logic it all the time, it's almost like this never ending loop of experiences. So take what you need to from this. Understand that we are shifting out of the mental illusions of crap, like the all or nothing. If this happens, it means this. If that happens, it means that. Instinctually and intuitively, you will know. Okay, so for a couple weeks ago, I had this experience with my masculine where it was like almost like a cold shock going over my body. Like if he had taken this path, it would have just been so much more hard work for us. We would have figured it out. But it wasn't like it was coming from my head, because I'm really, really good at being like, okay, this is the thought that's coming in. Is this thought from the past? Is it something that I'm assuming or projecting onto this experience as if it's that? Or is this my instincts that I need to feel into? It was my instincts. Sometimes that will happen. Your instincts will tell you if something is okay or not. But more often than not, our brains come in and it tries to make something it's not, and it creates this illusionary experience as if it's that. And it's not. So understand that we are shifting out. I don't know about you, but I've been talking to my person's higher self, my higher self, my peeps. I'm like, I need some physical proof. I need to lean into validation a little bit. I think validation is perfectly acceptable to ask for. I think that is, from an energetic standpoint, because the physical world has not quite caught up to us where we are energetically and what we can see and sense and know. It's just not there yet. But we still have to live in the crumbling of this place, and we still have to live in the transition of this place. So understanding that you're on the right path and having those affirmations is a really important part of this journey. And I don't think it's wrong. I think it's when you seek validation as the only source of approval of your experience. Like if I don't get this, then forget everything else. That's going to create an all or nothing. It's going to create frustration. It's going to create pain and anger. We are moving out of all of that. The mind cannot take us where we need to go. It needs to be in cooperation with the heart and our soul. Okay, so if you're watching on Patreon, keep watching. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of this. If you're not, thank you so much for tuning in this far if you're still here, and take care.